Okay, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed the last video. So this video is for men who are 20 to 50 who are struggling with social anxiety, fear and self-doubt with regards to building confidence and getting a long-term meaningful relationship with their ideal woman. So bear with me guys, I've made some notes here, so I'm going to look away from the camera because I couldn't just freestyle this video because I'm going to miss out really important key bits. So I'm going to read through some notes here so I can outline this video and give you the solution to your problem. So first of all, we're going to start off, I wrote this down. Let women decide if they want to date you or not, or go into a relationship with you, not that negative voice in your head. I struggled for years, as a lot of you know, with anxiety, with paranoia, and even suicidal thoughts because I was listening to that voice in my head and I believed it was true, and I believed it was me, and I believed that everything the voice told me was everything that women thought about me, until later on I had good experiences. I eventually got a relationship and I realized that that voice is lying, and it's been lying all along. So yeah, I just wrote a little extract here from my story. So I became suicidal in my early 20s. I had a certain really bad period, and that was from listening to this negative voice. I was shocked when a woman, or when women in general, liked me, because I was believing this voice for so many years, and it really felt true, and I believed it was true. So that's when I discovered the truth that we can't, you know, as my dad said to me many times, and good friends and women and aunties and uncles and grandmas, we can't know what women are always thinking. We can't do that. Some of us might like to believe that we can read the other person, but you can't always come up with a justification as to, well, that woman, she'll like me, no women like me. You don't know that until you speak to them and you're honest and you ask them out, or you talk to them. So yeah, the voice will really convince you, if you're not strong-minded, that you're not good enough, you're not complete, you need more, you don't have what it takes. You know, it demands more and more to a level which is just not humanly possible, and it's not true. So if you believe lies, they can become your truth. So that's kind of the bit I wanted to get out of the way. Right, now on the actual communication side, where many men struggle, and I struggled for like the first 15 or 20 years, and even now there's times when I struggle as well, despite being a confidence coach and an expert. It doesn't take away the fact that I have bad days and I am human. So the best advice I can give any guy to get over his social anxiety, his fears, his insecurities, his awkwardness, his stuttering is this. The best advice is be honest and be vulnerable with women. Really important. Honesty will wipe out the anxiety. It takes a lot of courage to exercise that honesty, especially in the moment when you've got a short window. So you could be at an event, it could be a phone call, it could be online dating, it could be in a coffee shop, it could be in a park, anywhere. There could be any moment in time where a woman gives you the sign, she likes you, she starts a conversation, or you like her, and you've got that short window to communicate. And the way I see it, every single day of our lives, this is for men and women, it could be your wife. It could be your wife in a coffee shop. For women who watch my stuff, same advice, that could be your husband. If you don't face that fear and communicate and say hello and just, I'm going to get to, and just be normal, be yourself, then how are we going to meet each other? We're going to be relying on hoping things will happen, and that could go to our dying days. So I wrote some notes here, right? I'm not saying these things are easy, that's why you got work. And be normal, be honest, be respectful for guys, be positive, be yourself, be kind. Try and be as calm as you can. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody, even for me at times. When you like someone and you want to ask them out, of course you can have those fears, but that's life. You learn through practice, you know, through building your confidence in ways I explain on the channel: fitness, exercising, good friends, good family, hobbies, goals, interests, habits, responsibilities, and many things I'll talk about on this channel. So keep things simple. So I think that would be most of it today, right? And I did a little speech here. I love movies, and I know you guys do, and I know a lot of men and women do, and my friends do, so I don't mind if some of you make fun of me for this, that's fine. But it's an extract from the film Braveheart. I love the film, and I'll explain the meaning that I've took, right? And a lot of people love this film. My nan loved this film, so I've got good memories. And this film is all about heart and courage and standing up to fear. So it may not be word for word exactly what Mel Gibson says in the end, but it's close enough, and that's the most important thing, right? And that's kind of what we're outlining today. The problem that most men have and the mistakes they make is they're trying to be someone else. Listen, you cannot be me. You are uniquely you. You can't be some guy on the internet. You can't be a friend. You can't be a celebrity. You're the one that's going to date the woman. So you have to learn to be yourself. And I know that's not easy. And guys are going to say, well, I can't. I don't have the confidence. Well, you've got to learn. You've got to build it like you learn anything. Anyway, let's get to it. So, fight and you may die. Run and you may live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom? Now, back to this. We're not talking about an outside enemy, this voice that drives many men to committing suicide, and women, mental health. Everybody has this voice. Most people don't have the courage to talk about it. I totally understand that. I respect that. I'm not going to judge anybody. It's not easy. I choose to talk about it because this is how I freed myself from committing suicide and turning my life around and getting a girlfriend and having confidence and getting on better with my family and everyone. So what I'm taking from Braveheart, interpreting for mental health challenges that men go through, how to overcome these challenges and get the right relationship with the right woman and be a better person, is if you don't speak about these intrusive thoughts and you run, as in you block it out, you isolate, you will live. But for how long? Because it just destroys you. You're in agony. It's no way to, it's not fair, it's not right, it's not right, it's not fair, it's not honest. So what I take from this fight today, because the fears will say to a lot of men, if I ask a woman out and I'm honest and she says no, it's going to kill me. The shame's going to kill me. It's literally going to kill me. The embarrassment, the terror that if she says no to me, that means every woman doesn't love me. No one's going to go. This is what I lived with for 15 years. I was so close, thank God, I was so close in my 20s to killing myself. Now, many years after that, when I recovered from suicidal thoughts and anxiety through doing the things that I'm encouraging men to do today, which is to speak about it, build confidence and overcome social anxiety, for many years I didn't really talk about this bit because it's not comfortable. I don't even like talking about it now, but I have to talk about it because I didn't want to upset my parents and frighten my family, and also it's not an easy subject. But listen, the reality is men are committing suicide every single day because they feel they've got no one to talk to, no one cares, no one understands, no one could ever understand. But I'm here to say that there are a lot of people that understand. I understand. Now, Tyson Fury understands. Have a conversation with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's been suicidal, he's going to kill himself. That is a fact. Go online. He overcome it. If he can do it, and if I can do it, then you guys can do it. So for anybody who is critical, I just feel like, where is your heart? How can you be so unkind and so selfish and insensitive to a major problem that's going on? It's happening all around us, and I've been through it myself. But I've got a positive message. You can get through it by fighting. We're not talking about physically fighting anyone. We're talking about fighting the voice by communicating and putting your hand up and saying, I need help. I can't do this anymore. I feel suicidal because I believe I can't get a woman. It's no joke. Of course it makes sense. One of the biggest triggers, I don't know everything about suicide, but I don't need to know everything because I've been through it. One of the biggest triggers for men of all ages, from every age, is the belief and the premise that they cannot get a woman, that they're never ever going to have a wife, they're never going to have intimacy, they're never going to have a loving relationship, Now that isn't true, but if you believe it's true and you don't do anything about it and you isolate and you sit in your flat, that many men have taken their own life, and I know because I was close to it myself. I felt too embarrassed to talk to anyone. Now I'm older, I'm wiser. I am lucky that I had the strength to pray to God and the courage to implement the wisdom that I got from the prayer, which came in the form of a Les Brown video, which gave me the inspiration, and I went out and I did what I needed to do on a human level, which was to practice facing my fear of public speaking, making friends, and asking women out. So this is a whole holistic approach that men need to take, and there is a woman out there for you. You know, my nan was right, my mum was right, my dad was right. Good people around you that care, who give you this information. Now, is it easy? I'm not going to lie to any people that follow me. It's not easy. It's not easy, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. But you know what's harder? Like he said in the film Braveheart, years and years from now, where we are on our deathbed, the pain and regret of saying, I never got to experience love, I didn't get a wife, I didn't even at least try. And there's a good woman out there, I've met many of them, many good women who don't want us men to suffer. They don't want us killing ourselves, they definitely don't want that. So there are a lot of good people, and I'm not going to waste my time on too much energy on who doesn't care, who's not compassionate, who for whatever reason is evil. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the good. There are many good people, many good men and women have helped me to overcome these fears. Now, I'm not saying every single man who is struggling with anxiety and confidence issues that can't get a woman is suicidal, but there are a lot of men are. So I'm going to speak on behalf of them because they don't have the courage right now, and I totally understand that, but I've got the courage. So it's £1 billion for me that I can make a difference, and I can at least raise awareness and maybe positively influence guys to get help and not do that and get the right relationship, because that's what it does. Look, if you think about it, if you get traumatized when you're younger and you get bullied and you get broken down, which most of us do, men and women, and you don't know how to come back from it, you ain't got the strength, you don't trust people, you can't get the help, you can't get coaching or therapy or a friend, or, you know, I'm lucky because at some point these voices drove me so mad, I went and spoke to my dad, and my dad always helped me, and my mum always did. But despite my mum and dad helping me, there were times where I was afraid to go to them. I didn't want to stress them out, and that's just, a lot of us have that because we care, and you know, our parents do have stresses. So it's opening up, and the more, it's funny, the voices trick you and lie to you and say, if you open up, you're going to be you're going to die, basically, one way or another. But the truth is, when you open up and you're genuine, and it's just desperate, there's a lot of good people. And if I didn't have people around me, and if, let's just say, a little bit more pressure, I would have killed myself. And I don't enjoy saying that, but that's the truth. Thank God I got a second and a third shot. So communication is the key. And of course, you've got to take responsibility. Listen, if a man is in a position where mentally he can't help himself, he needs to get help. There is no shame in that. If you know my story, I had a mental breakdown in 2017 and I wasn't able to help myself. I got the help, and now I recovered. So no one can knock a man for that, or a woman in that case, or any human being. But when you're in a position where you are strong enough and you're not suicidal and you're not like really mentally unwell, but you're just scared to ask a woman out, then you've got to push yourself and do it. Now, here's some things that you can do to build confidence. I've already get help if it's really that bad. There's so much help out there now, but you've got to take that first step, because sometimes we don't know that a family member is suicidal. We don't know. Even when we know someone, we don't always know what's going on in their head. We don't always know if they don't tell us. And a lot of people wouldn't have known what was going through my head. I hid it very well, you know, and that was what was making it worse. So I would say, number one, communicate, speak to someone. Doesn't it make you feel better knowing that your heroes have struggled at one time with being suicidal? Mike Tyson, just naming some names respectfully, Tyson Fury, Jonathan, confidence coach. I don't know if he was suicidal, but I know that David Goggins has been on the brink of just suffering, and he overcame it, which is why we appreciate these people, because they save people's lives. And there's many other names. I can't think of all the names, but a lot of the heroes have been through these, but they've overcome it through communication and getting the right help that they need. So what helps is the gym training, which is why I put the videos out. Training helps you to calm those voices, build confidence, and get the confidence that you need, and emotional stability. To be honest, and I will say to guys, very simple. You know, treat women how you want to be treated, how you treat everybody else. Be respectful, be honest, and be yourself. And that's all you can really do. And you've got to understand that we all get rejected. Not every woman's going to go for you, but that's fine. Eventually you will meet the right person if you're patient and you're honest and be open. You know, try the dating platforms that feel right for you. Online dating might work for you. That's not right for everyone. Go to meet-up groups. You know, if you're in a situation and you feel that a woman likes you, communicate. Say hello, how are you doing? Keep it simple. If she likes you, she'll tell you. If she wants to go out of you, she'll say yes. If she doesn't want to go out of you, guys, always be a gentleman. I always say that. I was brought up on these values. I practice them. If you ask a woman out, I know it's disappointing, and she says, I appreciate it, but no thank you, I'm not interested, or always say, look, I appreciate that, I respect that, have a great day. You can't get a more honest practice. It makes you feel good. With those ethics, it won't be long before you get the right relationship. So, you know, this is what it means to stand up to this voice, and I'm telling you, there is hope. There is some great hope on the other side, and, you know, these are the things that I've learned, not just from men, my dad, mentors, the Les Browns, praying to God, my own experience, my own heart, but I've learnt these from women. And I remember hearing for many years women saying one of the biggest frustrations that women have with men is they don't communicate, they're not vulnerable. And I've said this before, most men, I've overcome this fear now, but I was there once, it wasn't long. Most men are more frightened of being vulnerable with a woman at any stage, especially with asking a woman out, to be emotionally vulnerable and not to hide and protect and stuff emotions down and try and be so. They're more frightened of asking a woman out than they are of going into a boxing ring, because going into a boxing ring presents a whole different type of fear, which is a different type of fear to getting rejected by a woman. Or even, I remember going for a stage where I was terrified that a woman would say yes, because I was so scared. What do I do then? Because a part of me felt, well, I'm not good enough. If she says yes to me, then at some point she's going to find out that I'm not enough, that I've got all these issues, she won't accept me. So that frightened me. And that's another fear to overcome, which is another illusion, another myth that this inner lying voice creates. So you'll cross that bridge when you come to it. But the first thing I'd encourage any guy to do, practice saying hello. Hello, how are you? How's your day? Nice to meet you. My name's Jonathan. What's your name? Respectful, simple social skills. That is honest. It's not sleazy. The likelihood is it's not going to make a woman feel uncomfortable. It's not going to make you feel that you're weird. Honesty, respect, good integrity. You can't beat that stuff. And that wipes out voices of worry and insecurity and upsetting her. And I think if you're worried about upsetting a woman or making her feel uncomfortable, that's because you're a good person, you've got a good heart, because you've got a conscience. But of course it's balancing that worry so it's a healthy amount, because you don't want to overdo it to the point where you're so worried you can't even speak. You can't get nowhere then. How are you going to get a relationship if you can't communicate, can't show feelings? I don't think any decent woman in her right mind wants a man who cannot communicate. You can't love like that, and that's not fair. That's not right for men or women. So in this video, as you can hear, well, I hope you can, I'm helping both men and women, because it's not just one-sided. There's millions of women out there who are single, scratching their head saying, how comes I can't get a relationship? Why won't any guy speak to me? Is there something wrong with me? And a lot of the time, it isn't that. It's because we're so frightened. We're so terrified that you're not going to like us, you're not going to love us. And these voices are going to be confirmed true. This lying voice, which is part of the human challenge. And men find it difficult. So, going in a boxing ring, when I got in the ring, I was absolutely petrified, nearly wet my trousers. I'm not embarrassed to say, I can laugh about it now. But it gave me so much confidence, because my fear was, what if I get knocked down? I did get knocked down. Okay, it's not the end of the world, I'm alive, got back up. What if I get tired and everybody sees me tired and I'm ashamed and I'm humiliated? I got tired, everybody's seen it, life went on, I come back another day and I got better. What if I go and have a boxing match, which I did, and I get knocked out and beaten in front of everyone? And I did get knocked out. I didn't get knocked out cold. I got knocked out, stopped beaten, but at least I've done it and I lived to see another day. So the what ifs, it's not as bad. But what's even worse, in my experience, and Braveheart outlines it, Mel Gibson, is avoiding the fear. Avoidance creates absolute agony, affects all your relationships. So communication. So the communication is across all the boards, with mum and dad, with your family, with your friends, and with eventually the woman that you're going to ask out. We've all got to risk it. We've got to risk being hurt if we want to experience love for both men and women. If I can teach you anything from my life, please learn from men and women. Learn from my mistakes. 15 years of my life, I'd say maybe longer, I protected myself because I was frightened of being hurt by it. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. Even when I went for a stage, and I'm not there no more, when I was dating several women, to protect myself, I was still terrified. And I had to learn and grow up, and that's another story for another video. Now I make myself vulnerable because the pain of protecting is too painful. So I put myself out there. Any relationship that I approach now, all out, open-hearted, vulnerable, and do the best I can to be really respectful and see what happens. Because the pain of regret is it's absolute agony. It's a slow death. It's better. So this is something that you're going to work towards. I'm not saying that you're going to do this in one day, patience, time, but I had to get it all out today. And I believe when men get out their challenges and anxieties, they feel better mentally, they can gain confidence, and they're in a better position to have a better relationship with a woman. I think that's what we all want at some point, and we all deserve that. So I'll end it here, to be continued. So I hope that helps. And yeah, you know, the gym, the training, look at my other videos on how to build confidence. But this is for both men and women, but especially today for men who struggle with that voice, which can take you into places of, look, it's not the point. Even if you're thinking about taking your own life, it's not a good place to be at. That doesn't mean that you're going to do it, but you shouldn't even be considering taking your own life. And once you get confidence and the right help, whether you do it through the help of others or a video can do it for you, great, then you can get that relationship. Because all these things are connected. Mental health, suicidal thoughts, not being suicidal, being confident, having a good relationship with the right woman, having confidence, getting on better with people, with family, with friends, it all connects. And if this is out of joint, then it, you know, the triggers, the challenges will be everywhere. So anyone can do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. And if there's any time, because I get it sometimes too, because I put pressure on if you're ever feeling that you're not a man or you're not good enough or you feel ashamed because of the anxieties, just think about Tyson Fury, what a great champion. And he said it himself, I'm sure he won't mind me saying. He's almost 7 foot. And if the heavyweight champion of the world can be brought to his knees because of mental health and challenges, then why should any of us feel ashamed? We shouldn't feel ashamed. I shouldn't feel ashamed, and I don't. And my faith gives me the strength every day, and neither should you. That should give you strength and encouragement to overcome it and get the right relationship that you deserve with yourself and with the right woman, all right? So I'll end it there, and I appreciate the support. And if you guys can, share this with people, with men and women, to help them get over their anxieties, because it works both ways. I'm certain there are a lot of women out there that are struggling with mental health, with suicidal thoughts, because they fear that they're not good enough, they can't get the right man, and they can. It's the same both ways. You need to look after one another. That's really important, especially, that's important for me anyway. And I know a lot of my clients have got the same values, all right? I'll speak to you guys soon. I'm gonna now run up some hills, all right? Fearless.